Hello, 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 beautiful people. How are you today? Today is another episode of Relax and Raunchy Relationship Podcast with me, Ingrid Galloway. And I am accompanied by beautiful guest. Her name is Julie. Julie Cliff is a declutter coach at Space and Time. She helps women who are pulling their hair out because there's stuff all over the house and their to-do list is overwhelming. Oh, sometimes I can relate to that definitely. Through her coaching, Julie shows women how to implement easy decluttering and organizing systems in the home, and we'll share some of those tips with us today. I am very excited to dig out and learn more from Julie. So, welcome, Julie.
Thank you very much. And Ingrid, just to introduce you to the Space and Time people that I'm sure will be watching and to your new followers. Ingrid Galloway is the founder, relationship coach, and chief relaxation officer at KAHYANGAN, which means heaven. She has been a relationship coach for 12 years and a spa therapist for 22 years. She practices from KAHYANGAN in Sydney and from clients' homes, offices, and hotel rooms online and from retreat locations. Her work has always focused on stress, relaxation, and relationships, and always ready to look after loving and not so loving couples and broken, lonely hearted singles. She does one on one coaching sessions, group workshops, virtual retreats, and in person retreats. Fabulous.
Yay. So let's get into it. Julie, what is your why? Why do you do what you do?
Thank you for asking that question. I have some natural tendencies to be organized myself, but I realized pretty quickly when I was in an office environment that not everybody is naturally organized, and there's lots of different reasons why they might be disorganized. They may not have been taught the skills when they were younger. They're not interested in doing the work. They're too busy. They get wrapped up in their business or their work. And also they may have had health challenges along the way. I've never met a person that was disorganized because they were lazy. Perhaps lazy people wouldn't call me, I suppose, but just find that life gets in the way a lot of the time. And some people as well, you would hear and read a lot about people with hoarding tendencies. And so they are people that it is a condition that is diagnosed and recognized these days as people who hoard. I don't particularly deal with people who hoard. There are specialist people that have skills to be able to help those sorts of people. So if anyone has hoarding tendencies, tends to hang on to things really tightly, then they could certainly seek some professional advice for that. But as I said, I found that not everybody is an organized person, found like I could teach them some skills and learn from them as well, but also to teach them some skills that they can be organized. So that's my why and why I started my business 6 years ago.
Oh, that's wonderful. Definitely much needed service because a lot of people are simply overwhelmed, especially during the lockdown era. Yeah. Online shopping. Oh my God. Online
Yes.
shopping is booming.
It
I have
is.
one particular corporate clients that I normally come every quarter to massage them in their office, and their business just skyrocketing throughout lockdown 2020 and 2021.
Good on them. That's awesome to have a product or a service that's doing well at this time.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah. However, well, too much shopping, meaning too much
Yep.
clutter at home.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And that segues quite well into my 3 tips, Ingrid, that I was going to talk about. You happy for me to share them?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so the first one is people, as you said, they find themselves, they're overwhelmed and exhausted by their clutter. Their mind is cluttered, and also they just don't know where to start. So that really links into what you were just saying, that one of the first places to start is stop it from coming in the door in the first place. Exactly what you were saying about your shopping. Knock yourself out if you need a new pair of pants or, those sorts of things, but beware of the sales. Make sure they fit. Ideally, you would go in and try them on and make sure that, it fits and all those sorts of things, or return them if they don't. But top tip is if you're trying to get organized and declutter at home, don't bring it in the house in the first place. Second,
temptation.
Yeah, I know. And they're so tricky, even at the grocery store, buy 2 for 1 or a 15-kilo bag of rice and it's so cheap. But, really be mindful and try and only buy what you need. Second tip is when it comes to your mind being cluttered, try and focus on the things that are working for you. It might be you are very organized at work. And what are those systems you're using at work that you could bring home and implement, whether it's a particular day of the week that you tidy the office at home, at work because the cleaners are coming. Maybe you could do the same sort of thing at home so that it sort of flows quite well from home to work and vice versa. So that's the second one, just being a bit more positive towards the things that are working. Don't look at all the bad things and all the mess around. Look at some good things to help clear that mind. And the third one, when you don't know where to start anywhere. There's no real wrong place. Often flat surfaces in the kitchen, the dining room table, or on the kitchen bench and those sorts of things are a great place to start. Put a timer on for 15 minutes and see what you can get done in that time. Leave yourself some time to pack up as well at the end. Don't make sure that you don't have to run out and pick the kids up from school and a big mess be left everywhere.
A half-done job.
Half-done job, that's right. And it like I said, you end up in more mess than when you started. So those 3 things of stopping the clutter, declutter your mind, and then also just start in small parts is a great way to start decluttering. Start anywhere.
Just like Nike said, just
do it. Yep, I agree. That's such a good slogan.
Love that. Oh, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom there.
Pleasure. And how about your tips? You're going to give us some relationship tips, please.
Yeah, I mean, you ask in your email how to communicate to messy partner. I mean, for me as a relationship coach, one of the top 3 relationship breakup cause is actually communication, lack thereof, or is it too hot, when they communicate with each other, so they end up breaking up. But how to communicate with a messy partner? Number 1 is communicate the impact of a messy house for you. And why is it important? Distraction, especially during lockdown or COVID era, whereby a lot of people work from home, mess can be very distracting. So you can't work properly. You can't work efficiently and effectively because there's mess everywhere, right? Especially when it's your partner that created the mess. So that can lead to depression or depressive moods, unable to find things, and make the place harder to clean or keep clean. So if you can communicate this to your partner of the impact of the mess that they created on you, then perhaps they can understand. Of course, communicate with a calm sort of tone and calm energy, not just like you want to kill them straight away. And then number 2, don't try to get them to change everything all at once, because that is very overwhelming. You need time to change habit to a permanent change. So my tip is change 1 or 2 things at a time, but consistently. And then number 3, provide encouragement when they go off the rail. Of course, building a new habit is not easy. When you're smoking, for example, for a lot of people, it takes quite a few times to, get off the cigarette, get on again, off again, on again, they get off the rail. It's a high possibility, but be patient, provide encouragement, try to do it together as a team instead of attacking them. It's our natural fallback mechanism to attack the other people. As human beings, we like to point and blame, of course. It's the easiest thing to do. But instead of attacking them, provide encouragement And don't do it for them though, without telling them, as this will lead to resentment and blow up later on. Because say, for example, the wife's just is like, ah, I'm just fed up. He's so messy. Let me just do this, so it's quick, it's done. But then if you keep doing it for them, it will lead to resentment and, like a pimple, eventually it will blow up sometime.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that would be very similar for kids too. And this exactly the same tips would work for your children as your partner that you've just said it. Particularly the encouragement part. It's so important to, say, yeah, you're doing a great job. Thank you. It makes such a big difference to my life.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. Lovely. So those are my 3 tips.
Thank you. That's
So
great.
people, now we come to the fun part of the podcast, getting true and false statements. So Julie gave me 2 statements. Number 1 is Julie's home looks like a show home and is always perfectly tidy. Oh, that makes sense. She is a declutter coach. And number 2, Julie is not a naturally organized person. I think the correct answer will be number 1.
No, number 2, Ingrid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
As I said before, I do have some natural organizing tendencies. I'm the oldest of 4 children, and mum and dad were busy working, so I had to do a lot of things, but I'd always be in a rush and in a hurry. So I'd rather just stuff something in the cupboard and run off and do the next thing. So over the years, I've really had to teach myself, and that was sort of, again, part of where my business has come from, that I've had to teach myself these skills on the basis of having some skills to start with and really having to build on them and find easiest ways to do things. What's the simplest way to get the washing done? Or what's the simplest way to get the grocery shopping done? Particularly when you've got a crying baby in a pram and you need to do a really quick whip around the shopping centre and that sort of thing. So that's where a lot of my tips came from. My house is pretty tidy, but it is not a show home.
Right.
We live in it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And how about yourself? You've got 2 true and false statements here. Number 1, I have got no idea here. I'm going to be stabbing in the dark. This is going to be really interesting. Ingrid's husband looked for his wedding rings everywhere frantically. Or number 2, Ingrid's brother looked for his wedding rings everywhere and frantically. As I said, I'm stabbing in the dark. I'm going to say Ingrid's brother, statement 2.
Oh, you are incorrect. Because guess what? I am the only child, so I don't have a brother.
Oh, that's a trick one. That's awesome.
So the story was one day when my eldest is still little, and I gave my husband 2 rings, so 1 wedding ring and 1 kind of like not engagement ring, but a commitment ring. And he always back then wore it on his fingers. And then one day he put it somewhere and he woke up, it's like, what are my rings? And he looked everywhere, turned the house upside down, and then he went to the office, asked everybody in the office, hey, did you see my ring? Because I just couldn't find it everywhere at home. And then one day, guess what? I don't know whether you're familiar with kids show, but there was a Rara show. So Rara is the little lion.
Okay. Yes, I do remember.
Okay. Yes.
Yep.
So he bought a Rara house for our daughter, and then he came to her room and have a look around, with her toys. And guess what? When he turned the Rara house back to front, and there you go, 2 rings resting inside the Rara house.
Wowie, that's amazing. So how long were they missing for?
I don't know. Couple of weeks, I will say.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was like in the back of his mind stressing out, and there you go. So it doesn't matter whether your house is tidy or not tidy. When you have kids, there's always the X factor.
That's true. What a great story.
You will never know where things go.
No, that's right.
So, Julie, last question. What do you do to either relax or add raunchiness to your relationship?
I love this question. It made me think so hard. My husband and I have been together for 25 years. So
Congratulations.
thank
What a
you.
great milestone.
Thank you. It is good. We've been married 16 years, so but been together a very long time. So we probably don't put ourselves at the top of our to-do list as often as we should. But that was going to be my point. I need to do that more often. I need to get it in the diary more often. Just like anything
Just do
important.
it. Just like
Just
Nike.
do it.
Just do it.
That's it. Very important. But we do, it's not raunchy, but this is what we do. We sit down and watch rugby league together. I worked at Melbourne Storm Rugby League Club for 15 years. So it's a big part of our life.
Right.
So we watch footy together. We do some gardening together. So we've got common interests. So it's a matter of enjoying our time together. But thank you for making me think that I need to put more time in the diary for some romantic, a getaway, or, and if it's not in the diary, it doesn't happen often. So
exactly, isn't it? Yeah, because we do have a lot of responsibility. We have our business, our kids, our housework that can be the top priorities for however many years. However, what about our relationship? We need to put our relationship on top sometimes.
Definitely.
Yeah, priority. Watch my episode with Amanda Wilson, Date Night in a Box. Yeah,
I did see that one. She had some great tips. Yes.
Yeah. That'll be great. So, beautiful people, thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoy our collaboration together, me and Julie. And for sure, next week we will have a beautiful guest, with various tips about life and relationship. We will chit chat just like this one and having fun as well. But Julie, if people would like more decluttering tips or need help from you, how can they connect with you?
The best place is to have a look at my website, which is spaceandtime.com.au, and all the links to my Facebook and Instagram and everything are on there. So spaceandtime.com.au.
Fabulous. And people, if you like our podcast together, please go to YouTube and subscribe, Ingrid Galloway, like and subscribe. And if you would like more relationship tips or more help from me, you can have a free half-an-hour chat, and you can register on my website, www.kahyangan.com.au. That is KAHYANGAN.com.au. So thank you so much, Julie, for coming. I've had fun, and thank you so much for your wisdom, sharing your tips, and have a lovely week.
Thanks, Ingrid. Lovely to see you.